Okay, let's dive into one of the world's most incredible spiritual texts, the Bhagavad Gita. We're going to distill it down for our modern, super busy lives and see how it offers a guide to finding peace and purpose right in the middle of all the chaos.
I mean, just think about that question for a second. This is the exact crisis that kicks off the entire conversation of the Bhagavad Gita. It's a dilemma we all face, right? That conflict between what we have to do and what we feel is right. So, we start on a battlefield, and the hero, this great warrior Arjuna, is all set to lead his army into a war for a just cause. But then he looks across the field, and who does he see? His own family, his cousins, his teachers, and he just breaks. His resolve completely shatters. This is way more than a physical battle. It's a total moral and emotional meltdown. He's just so overwhelmed by grief and confusion that he literally throws down his weapons. He tells his charioteer, "I can't do this." He argues that killing his own relatives, even if it's for a kingdom, is a horrible sin that's only going to lead to disaster.
And this is where things get really interesting. His charioteer, who is actually the Lord Krishna in disguise, doesn't just say, "Toughen up and fight." No! Instead, he starts this deep, profound lesson that gets to the very root of Arjuna's suffering. And that conversation? Well, that's the entire Bhagavad Gita.
So where does Krishna even begin? You might think he'd start with duty or the rules of war, right? Nope. He goes straight to Arjuna's biggest fear, the fear of death and killing.
Krishna drops this radical idea on him. He explains that who we think we are, this physical body, it's just temporary. It's like a set of clothes you're wearing. But the real you, the self, or the Atman, that's the eternal dweller inside that just puts on a new body when the old one wears out. It can't be destroyed.
And that's the absolute core of it. The real you, your essence, is completely beyond birth and death. By getting Arjuna to understand this, Krishna totally reframes the problem. The grief he's feeling is for the temporary body, not for the eternal self, which can't be harmed. Okay, so once that foundation is laid, the idea of the eternal self, Krishna introduces the first path to freedom, and it's a path that is perfectly designed for people like us, people with active lives, the yoga of action. Look, this isn't about quitting your job and running off to a mountaintop to meditate. Not at all. It's about finding freedom inside your daily actions. It's about transforming your work, your responsibilities, whatever you do, into a form of spiritual practice.
And this right here is the how-to guide. The absolute key is to let go of your attachment to the outcome. You do your best, you fulfill your duty with everything you've got, but you release that anxiety about whether you'll succeed or fail. That mental balance, that calm, steady mind, that is yoga. It's what frees you from the emotional roller coaster of results.
All right, so that's one path. But what if you're more of a thinker, more of an analytical person? Well, for those people, Krishna presents the yoga of wisdom, or jnana yoga. This path is all about deep inquiry, about really understanding. It's the process of realizing, through knowledge and contemplation, the truth that Krishna first talked about, that your true self is eternal, and that it's connected to the divine reality that flows through absolutely everything.
I mean, what a powerful metaphor, right? The idea is that true spiritual knowledge is like a fire. It purifies you. It just burns away all the binding consequences of your past actions, leaving you free, clear, and untangled.
Now, the third path Krishna reveals is often called the most accessible, and for a lot of people, the most powerful. Why? Because it works directly with something we all have in abundance, our emotions. This is the yoga of devotion.
This path doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions. Instead, it says, let's channel them. It takes our natural human ability to love and directs it toward a higher purpose. So every single thing you do, from eating a meal to doing your job, becomes an offering.
Krishna then paints this beautiful picture of what a person on this path looks like. They start to see the divine in everyone and everything. So naturally, they become compassionate, balanced, and free from ego. Their devotion turns into this kind of universal love.
And this verse just captures the essence of it. It shows you how practical Bhakti Yoga is. It weaves spirituality into every single moment of your daily life. Suddenly, nothing is boring or mundane, because everything can be done as an act of devotion. Okay, so underpinning all of these paths is a really cool concept Krishna calls the three gunas. They're like the three fundamental qualities of nature that make up everything. First, you have sattva. That's the quality of purity, of light, balance, and harmony. Then there's rajas. That's all about passion, activity, ambition. It gets things done, but it can also lead to attachment and pain. And finally, you have tamas, which is inertia, darkness, laziness, and ignorance. The whole goal of yoga is to understand these forces inside us, consciously increase the sattva, the clarity, and eventually learn to go beyond all three.
So after explaining all of these incredible ideas, Krishna decides that, you know what, words can only go so far. He decides to give Arjuna more than just a lecture. He grants him a divine sight, a chance to see reality as it truly is.
And this is the absolute climax of the Gita. What Arjuna sees is just mind-blowing. He sees Krishna's cosmic form, a vision where the entire universe, all of creation, all of destruction, is happening at the same time inside this one divine being. It's both magnificent and completely terrifying.
And right in the middle of this insane vision, Krishna reveals a stunning truth. He says the outcome of the battle is already decided by a divine will. He tells Arjuna, "You are not the one doing the killing. You are merely an instrument in a cosmic plan that's already in motion."
You can just imagine, right? This is the ultimate turning point. Seeing that bigger picture completely shatters Arjuna's ego and the heavy burden he felt of being the doer. His despair just melts away and is replaced by this incredible clarity and resolve.
And that's it. The crisis is over. He gets it. He understands his role. Arjuna picks up his bow, and now he's ready to do his duty, not out of grief or ego, but with wisdom, with detachment, and with devotion.
And that brings this timeless wisdom right into our laps, doesn't it? It asks us to look at our own battlefields, our jobs, our families, our personal challenges, and to ask ourselves that very question. How can we act with purpose and integrity while at the same time freeing ourselves from the anxiety of the results? It's a powerful guide to finding peace not by escaping the world, but right in the middle of the act.